statement. So, voters' registration incidents at Steps to Christ polling station in the Ewutu Senya East constituency, Kaswa, July 21st, 2020. This is to inform the good people of Ewutu Senya East, distinguished members of the media and fellow Ghanaians, and has come to the attention of the campaign team of the Ewutu Senya East constituency that the NDC has organized a press conference to misinform and mislead Ghanaians on events that transpired yesterday, 20th July, at the Steps to Christ polling station within the Ewutu Senya East constituency during the ongoing registration of voters. As tension continues to mount within the opposition NDC in the Ewutu Senya East constituency, following the refusal of the Electoral Commission to accede to the NDC's illogical, persistent call for the registration process to be aborted, the MPP is calling on all her members and all citizens within the constituency to remain calm and to go out in their numbers and register in the electoral process. Okay, then it goes on to describe what happened. The near clashes between supporters of the two parties come at a time when the NDC have made up their mind to go all out to disrupt the registration process by busing people from Soweto and other parts of Accra to the Ewutu Senya East to register. And that mainly accounted for the clashes yesterday at the Steps to Christ polling station. So the Member of Parliament went there to acquaint herself with the issue of the registration of missionaries. As Honorable Mavis Howard Kumsin entered the polling station with her entourage, they saw some motorists who had earlier been seen with the NDC's candidate Nakoyo at Universal Polling Station, following and running around the Member of Parliament's vehicle. They then attacked her by smashing the tail lights and the bumper. This said vehicle is parked at the Kaswa police station. Now, in an attempt to ambush and prevent her from entering the premises. Furthermore, the unidentified motorists had on face masks, making it difficult to see their faces. The wild behavior of the thugs caused the registrants to scatter because the place had become unsafe. Upon seeing the danger posed by these thugs on motorbikes who were attacking her unarmed team close to the polling station, the Member of Parliament quickly gave a warning shot in the air in self-defense to scare off the thugs. It goes on to say, we want to make it clear that Honorable Mrs. Mavis Howard Kumsin is a very peaceful and law-abiding citizen and has never in any situation given a hint of unpatriotic behavior as an MP or minister. And then in conclusion, the MPP, in the light of the foregoing, calls on the NDC national leadership to condemn the unacceptable behavior of their members and call them to order. We use this opportunity to assure all and sundry that the NPP is steadfastly committed to conducting its activities with decorum and in peace, to explain to citizens of the constituency the hard work of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. So those are the main points. There are bits and pieces that I've left out, but this is the main point of what the statement is saying.
Well, thank you for that. In a minute, we're going to get a bit of a quick history of violence during registration exercises, because this is not the first time this has happened. Sadly, there's a culture growing, and Winston will walk us through how this all came to be. But before that, it's time for the Joy Business Minute.
Hello and welcome to the Joy Business Minute, courtesy Consolidated Bank Ghana. We stand with you. The Finance Minister, Ken Oforiatta, has indicated that the government will heavily rely on technology as a driver of revenue collection and the growth to the economy. He will be presenting the mid-year review on Thursday. The Private Enterprise Federation has warned that confidence in the banking sector could wane if funds of defunct financial institutions are not paid back on time. The Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, is demanding the immediate closure of illegal foreign retail shops at Nkrumah Circle here in Accra. These shops that were closed by a special government task force for not having the required documents are now back in business. Elsewhere, EU leaders have struck a deal on a huge post-coronavirus recovery package following a fourth night of talks. It involves 750 billion euros in grants and loans to counter the impacts of the pandemic in the 27-member bloc. And that's it for the Joy Business Minute, courtesy Consolidated Bank Ghana. We stand with you. Good morning.
better believe it. It's 8 o'clock, and we just had a business minute brought to us by Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG. We stand with you. You know, nothing is impossible, even in these challenging times. CBG, your most trusted bank, gives you star 924 hash to get digi with it, making it easier to get used to the new normal of banking and business transactions. Now, with star 924 hash, get digi with it, you can conveniently perform banking transactions anywhere at any time. So bank safe with CBG on star 924 hash and get digi with it. You may alternatively use the ATMs and electronic platforms. Now, all branches are open and poised to serve you with first-class customer service if you need in-branch assistance. And note that they will enforce all the safety directives both for their staff and for you, their cherished customers. So follow them on Facebook, Twitter or Instagram at CBG Bank Limited. For further inquiries, call 0302-216-000. Get digi with it with CBG star 924 hash. CBG, we stand with you. Checho, Kaswa is not an exception, is it?
No, Kaswa certainly wouldn't be an exception. Kojo, the thing about elections, just to put it in perspective, is that the registration exercise, serves as the base for the main election. Now, political parties take an interest in the registration exercise because it will determine their fortunes. If you are able to, quote and unquote, register a lot of your supposed members, then you have the, what we will call vim, that once we get into the elections, these persons are going to vote for me. Also, if you are able to prevent some of your opponents from registering, particularly in parliamentary elections. The problem with all of this, of course, nationally you look at whether or not people are Ghanaians or whether or not they are minors, and so they do not get to register. But for parliamentary elections, the key thing is that you have to ensure people do not move from other constituencies to register in your constituency. I'll give a typical example. In 2012, for instance, so you might have remembered in Nima particularly, the whole violence around Ododudu, particularly the central business district at the time, when the NDC at the time, prevented persons who they said were not residents of the constituency from registering. They said they're not going to allow persons who just come to trade to register because they were not a resident, and you have to be a resident in the constituency before you'd be allowed to register. If you look at the Kaswa situation, for instance, I just would want to give a bit of a background as to what this thing might be happening. So in 2012, Mavis Howard Kumson got 31,000 votes. The NDC's Nuhu Timbela got 25,000. That's a margin of 6,000. However, in the presidential elections, John Dramani Mahama had 28,000 and Akufo-Addo had 30,000. So that's a margin of 2,000. Now, the idea of members of parliament sometimes in constituencies where they even think might be difficult for them to win is that they're able to push to have their presidential candidate get a lot more votes. If you do that, then your job is done.
Yeah.
In 2016, Mavis Howard Kumson has 34,000 votes, and the same Nuhu gets 24,000 votes. That's a reduction. Bigger gap. More like a 10,000 from the 5,000. John Mahama sees his votes also reducing to 25,000 as a result. And Akufo-Addo's votes increases to what? 33,000 as a result.
Right.
So then you could see that as the parliamentary candidates get more votes, the presidential candidate also gets more votes. As the parliamentary candidate's votes reduce, the presidential candidate also has his votes reducing. Yeah. And it's something you can see throughout in the country. So wherever people go and are able to make a case that, vote for me, all things being equal, it will translate into the votes you have there. But the other reason why a lot of members of parliament or aspiring members of parliament fight these things also is that if you are able, and the politicians will tell you, if you are able to make a case that, look, I was able to increase our votes by this margin, in many of the instances, if your party wins, you either become a deputy minister or a minister. It is one of the things that people actually look forward to. In 2000 election, Kofi Jamesi, who had contested the K2 North seat, became Deputy Volta Regional Minister. After 2004, he became substantive Volta Regional Minister. Now, Kofi Djamesi's rise, some have attributed to the fact that he was able to increase his votes in the K2 North constituency to about 10,000. And that was something unthinkable at the time, in the Volta region particularly. Now, the one who was able to win the first NPP seat in the Volta region in 2004, Joseph Kweku Nayan, in Nkwanta North constituency, also was rewarded with a deputy ministerial portfolio. So, you see,
I start to see the trend. So basically, if you do well as a parliamentary candidate and you are able to boost the presidential candidate's votes, you are rewarded.
You can make a case that, look, we've been able to do this in this constituency. I mean, there's a constituency that who would have imagined that we'll be able to achieve this. I mean, just recently, I had a conversation with somebody who was telling me. Now, I'm not going to mention it. I certainly wouldn't mention it. Somebody who told me that, I have been told that if I'm able to increase our votes by a 3,000 margin, I'll be made a minister.
Wow. So it's set for them as a target, so they will go and campaign vigorously. So there's a lot at stake, is basically the point you're making. And this would certainly be something on the minds of both of the candidates who decided to go and monitor the registration exercise on the very same day at the very same registration center. I wonder why, though. Why that center? What was unique about that center that caused the two candidates to converge there at the same time?
So the reports that we gather is the fact that the NDC's parliamentary candidate lives close to that area. And normally, if we were to use the Ayawaso West Wogon scenario, now the violence happened around the cluster of polling stations where the NDC's, the Ladi Kwesi Brimpon live. You see.
Right.
So we say that, for instance, if I live around Tema and Aboki when I'm contesting an election, if I'm very popular there, all things being equal, you would expect that people would want to relate with me. All over the world, people get to win in their own constituencies or wherever they live. So the information we get is that NDC's parliamentary candidate, Na Koyo, lives around that area. That's the polling station closer to her place of abode.
The registration center.
Sorry, the registration center, yes, close to her place of abode. So maybe Zawa Kumsen is alleging that people were barred from Sutu to go there. She's alleging. And so she went in there, and if you listen to her tape, the point that she makes, she says that, well, if you don't live in Kaswa, they won't allow you to come and register in Kaswa.
Right.
So that would explain why all of that happened, Kojo.
That's fascinating. Do you know, I want to hear what people think about what Professor Kwesi Inning had to say. Now, he was insistent that the conduct of the minister, the member of parliament for the area, ought to result in her being either asked to step aside or sacked. Listen to him.
I think it's very disturbing. It's unacceptable. It's premeditated. And in her own words, when she heard instances of supposed violence, she stated clearly, Onyema Sema, that is not my business. So, to get reports from individuals, to leave her house and arm herself, supposedly with a registered weapon, probably she's been taught how to fire in a crowded area, and to behave in that manner is putting life at risk. The dismissiveness about the gun type, and then her statement about the licensing raises a lot of concerns. Politics is about serving the people of this country and creating an enabling environment in which development, stability, and peace allows us to perform. So it's up to the Inspector General of Police to handle this case. But it goes beyond the police service. This is our political culture. And it is my hope that His Excellency the President will ask Mrs. Hawa Kumsin to step aside by tomorrow afternoon or probably dismiss her because her behavior, although Mr. Nimaku tells us she's been candid, yes, she's been candid because she can't lie about what she has done. You know, the only saving grace for her, if she is sacked, as I'm hoping Occupy Ghana and other people will raise their voices about, then of course, being candid and saying, look, I did what I did, is her only option left.
Right, so that's what Professor Kwesining thinks should happen. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Madam Hawa Kumsin says that she fired her gun because she was in fear for her life. She narrates in her statement how her car was attacked. Then there are others who also ask, but why did you even have a gun? You were going to observe a registration exercise. Why did you bring your gun from your house for that? You know, and what is this thing with firing shots? I mean, do people understand how dangerous it is to fire a gun in a crowded place, even if you think you're firing it upwards? Do people understand the danger? And why do we see so much of this happening? I mean, Madam Hawa Kumsin is not a security operative as far as I'm aware. So why did this happen? And what do you think should happen as a result of it? Okay, call us 0302 216 541 0244 340 437. We're also still very interested in your experiences in the registration exercise so far. We definitely want to know how it's gone for you. Have you seen any violence where you are? And please don't forget the hashtag JoySMS when you're tweeting at us. Okay, today we are going to read your tweets on the show, so please use the hashtag JoySMS so we'll see exactly what you're saying and share it with the world. Okay, what do you make of this incident? Richard is in La Paz. Richard, good morning.
Good morning, Kodu.
Good to hear you, my brother. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you too?
Not bad, oh. So, what do you think of all this?
Kodu, this latest registration ongoing, is it possible for somebody to register at two centers whilst it will be detected and the people punished? This story, this minister is telling us, it's not true. It's not true because, how do you call it? At Arewa, they told us that is just the beginning of 2020, and they are, executing the plan. We are seeing it daily. Nobody can register at two different polling centers and vote on December 7th. So this is not a true story. They should stop deceiving the public. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Ya is in Odoko. Ya, how are you?
God's grace, oh.
Wonderful. Thank you for calling us.
And good morning.
Good morning to you.
Could do the lawlessness here? It's too much. Oh. Now politicians are becoming unbecoming. Ghana does not belong to them. I mean, we should tell them Ghana does not belong to them. They are not above the law. In this country, there is a law for a politician, a law for a civilian, a law for Nana Akufo-Addo, and a law for me. How can Ghana move on? If everybody is carrying a gun to the police station, who will go and register? Who will go and vote for them? Oh, and then Ghana kakra ya then. After the who's a politics, there kakra yebedinti. The lawlessness is so much. Politicians, Ghana does not belong to you. What is this? If this gun that they fight, if somebody, the gun hit somebody that died, would the person revive? Politicians are dying. The word will come to an end. All that you are fighting for, you will not take it. Oh, it's too much.
Thank you so much for sharing, yeah. You can call us too, 0302 216 541 0244 340 437. We want to hear your thoughts on what's happened. And Professor Kwesining recommends that Madam Hawa Kumsin should be removed from office. Do you think that would be the right thing to be done? Or do you think she was justified in her actions? Kwame is in New Bawe. Kwame, good morning.
Thank you.
Hello, Kwame. Thank you for calling. Yes, hello.
Yeah, I've spoken. Thank you. Oh, you didn't hear what I was saying, please?
No, we couldn't hear you clearly. So can you say it again, please?
What I'm saying is this. In a constituency of about 50,000 voters, who determines who is a resident and a non-resident? How can somebody say that this man and this woman is a non-resident, so I will not allow you to vote? So this and the two stories coming from both sides and quite different. How do we know which one is the truth? I will not be surprised if this thing in the police station it ends up as a dead case. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Joseph is in Accra. Hi, Joseph.
Hello.
Hello, Joseph. Good morning.
How are you, Kojo?
I'm very well, Joseph.
This is very, very serious. My question this morning is, why is Howard Kumsin still walking around as a free person? Do we have separate laws for politicians in this country? It is serious, Kojo. If this is an ordinary person, would he be walking around freely around this time? I expect that the authorities will take this up and move. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you. And please call us. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think Professor Kwesinin is right that Madam Hawa Kumsin should be relieved of her post, or was she justified? Haruna is on the line. Haruna, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay, my boss.
I think what is going on in this country is uncalled for. The Hawa Kumsin should be arrested by now. Is she above the law in this country? Or is it because her government is in power? What authority does she have to go to the police station and go and fire a gun? So I think in this country, if we don't enforce the law, gradually the country will be a lawless country, to be a banana state. So the right thing must be done at the right time. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Akweteman is our next stop. Here's Lincoln. Morning, my brother.
Morning.
Champion, what's on your mind?
Yeah, Mr. Lincoln from Akweteman. Let me say good morning to your listeners, and let me salute Dr. Kwesini. I agree with him. Look, the lady, and then for me, you see, the president will not ask her to step down. They will clear her of any wrongdoing. We know. Look, for me, if this is the sign we are getting just for registration processes, then we have to prepare adequately for the coming election. Because it's too much, there is too much tension. I'm telling you, my brother, this is just a registration. And we are encountering a lot of security breaches. Look at what happened in Kaswa. And my brother, the lawlessness in Kaswa. Look, and I don't know the Kaswa police. They will arrest people, and before you realize, they leave them. So, you see, we don't punish people. If we begin to punish people, people will be very, very, very careful. How can a lady, a Honorable Hawa Kumsin, just pick a gun? And yesterday I listened to her. Oh, when he was leaving home, her security man was not ready to escort her. Hey, my brother, so Joy FM, look, you are doing well, and the way you go about your duties, comparing, telling us how election results were in the previous, and I listen to Joy a lot. So, my brother, keep the fire burning. Thank you.
Thank you, Lincoln. Patrick is in Sunyane. Hi, Patrick.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's Sunyane today?
Oh, please, Sunyane is very fine.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, Patrick, tell us what's on your mind. Do we have Patrick? Patrick, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, so I want you to stop listening to the radio, okay? Just listen to me on the phone. Just listen to my voice on the phone. Switch off the radio. And tell us what's on your mind, okay?
I don't know whether in Ghana we really have a constitution that is governing the country that politicians use to rule us. Because if it was to be I or you who has done this said I have a registered gun which I've shot up as a warning shoot, by now we should have been picked up by the police. We've seen in a situation whereby just a comment, people have been picked up on the talk of a gun. So at the first place, I want to know whether if the constitution has permitted the politicians or an MP or a minister to be moving around with a registered gun. And even besides, at the police center, I, for instance, is participating in the exercise of the registration. But when you come to our side, we don't see such things. We have the MPs or a sitting MP from the constituency who come to observe the exercise, but they don't come with even bodyguards. You see the person he comes there with what? A low standard of a class to rate himself just as the people on the queue to register. So why Kaswa? These things are happening. So I think our concern, it should be a command that they should arrest them within 1 minute. That is what I have for you.
I thank you. I thank you for sharing. Joe is in Asante Bekwai. Joe, yeah. Good morning. Good morning,
Uncle Kojo. How are you?
I'm very well, Brother Joe. What's up?
Yeah, I'm saddened by this Madam Haya Okubu's thing. Why should a woman carry a gun? To do what?
Madam Hawa Kumsen.
Yes, Hawa Kumsen. Why should you do that? You carry a gun to a registration center. I just want an election. You're not doing elections. For what? To do what with it? Scary people here and there, scatter, moving around it. I'm saddened. There's COVID around us. People are praying for this disease to go. Now you are holding gun to force us elections, registration, to come back to power, to do what? To rule over people. I've not seen what he's even doing. What does he do? It's a minister for what? Could you what is a minister for what?
And she's a minister for special initiatives.
Oh, it's a shame. Imagine the move. It's a shame. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for calling us. Peter T is in Sukura. Peter T. Good morning.
Hey, my big brother.
My senior boss. How's everything?
As usual, brother.
Talk to me.
Kojo says she should be arrested, and then then she should also be relieved on position as a minister and even an MP. What a lawlessness. So if your bodyguard was in the house and you came to the room, does it demand shooting? Does it demand harassment against people's rights? What is the meaning of this? For me, I thought that the moment the news broke out, I thought the president was going to quickly issue statements to sack her immediately. Because it doesn't augur well. We are not in election, and no registration had ever taken place in this country. And we face what we are facing today. Registration is always done even in the quiet. People even didn't show much interest those days. So why today people are taking registration so much that they want to apply every diabolic method, every evil method to do what? Those even who go there to register, how much do you know them? Are you sure that even after he or she has registered, he's giving you, his or her vote? So what sort of behavior is this? As a minister, no, quickly, I think the president, we want to listen to the president today to issue a statement for this woman to be sacked. And then even the MPC, Parliament must also take a decision that, from today onwards, the MPC should be relegated to the background. I mean, that is what I think. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, you know what? Not everybody likes politics. Some people do, some people don't. When you have a discussion about politics, some people enjoy it, some people don't. But nobody likes violence. I mean, I don't know of anybody who enjoys violence. I haven't met anybody. Anyone knows a few, I'm sure, but I don't. Nobody likes violence. Nobody likes violence in politics. It's a concern. And I think we need to be looking at all sides of this matter. Not just Madam Hawa Kumsin, but those who were there on motorbikes. What were they there for? Why were they there? Why did it become necessary for any of that to happen? Why is politics becoming ugly? Already there are people who don't even like it when they switch on the radio and hear conversations about politics. But it's necessary. If only we could do it without the violence. Let me very quickly say a good morning to somebody who's listening in her car on her way to work, Esther Abasa Konedu. Thank you so much for choosing Joy. While we're at it, let's read a few of these. This is from Osmanu Amadu. He says, so you think it was okay for her to fire the gun regardless? Rusty says on Twitter, can we say how Akumsin's act is the sign of militia vigilantism? She should be fired. This is from Akusia Ring Revolving Hearts, and she says, if this isn't the height of, well, I'm going to read this as it is. If this isn't the height of stupidity, I don't know what is. Just go and register your name so you can be able to choose who becomes president. Why should this simple exercise become another hullabaloo in Ghana? It's these two parties behind it as usual, NDC and NPP. Right, this one says, the ministers we have are disgraceful. What is the difference between this MP and a party vigilante group? You are not happy about the ongoing registration? Talk to the police or write to the EC. Okay, this one says, there are moments which transcend politics, and this is one of them. She should face the full force of the law, period. Impunity, when allowed to go unchecked, encourages distrust in public institutions, which then poses a huge risk to the collective peace within the country. This is from Nana Hesse Ujiri, and it says, she cannot be intimidated. The woman, Honorable Hawa Kumsin, is a strong woman. Okay. I wonder what you think. Let your tweets flow. We'll read them on the Super Morning Show. We're back after these.
I'm hungry.
Oh, Hema, today is Mommy's day off, so you can order anything you want.
Anything I want?
Anything. You can call me Dada Cash today.
Yay! Pizza!
You crazy, making promises. Do you even have enough cash on you?
Honey, just watch and learn. Hello? I'd like to place an order for 2 large pizzas and 2 large drinks.
Sure, sir. You can pay cash on delivery.
Oh, forget the cash. I'll be paying with CowPay. It's quicker and faster.
Pay for anything online and take control of all your payment transactions with CowPay on the CowBank app. Visit the Play Store or the App Store and download the CowBank app to make bank and mobile transfers. Request a checkbook, stop a check, and also have access to the CowPay payment platform. CowBank app. Forget the cash.
By 10 a.m., 5 million Ghanaians have heard. Have you heard? At least twice. In the trotro, in the queue for Hajia's watching, and at the cocoa joint around the corner.
So, have you heard that Airtel Tigo calls are free from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. for 6 months?
6 months?
Yes, you heard right. 6 months of free morning calls when you buy an Airtel Tigo SIM and make a simple transaction on Airtel Tigo Money. Share the news because Hong Kong no get leg. Get an Airtel Tigo SIM today.
Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
We can only fight a common enemy with a common front. Unity, they say, is strength. That is why the Ghana COVID-19 Private Sector Fund campaign calls on you and you and you to welcome recovered COVID-19 patients, frontline workers, and their families with love and not discriminate against them. With every recovered patient, we are close to winning the war against COVID-19. Recovered COVID-19 patients cannot infect other people, so let's show love to them and appreciate the health workers. Say no to stigmatization and say yes to love and care. Rejection and depression kills faster than coronavirus. Let's reach out in love and accept them. They deserve it even more in these trying times. End the stigma. Let love lead. This campaign is proudly brought to you by Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, Ghana Psychological Association,